where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat. Huh. That one usually gets a chuckle.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Don't mind Livia. She means well. She's just been in a bad place since... Well, you know, I don't know what happened to her.
Up here on your right is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left is the Forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have almost nothing, just what we had on us when we arrived, and what we've been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians live, so don't expect a warm welcome.
Hilarious. You're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
You'd better go with him. But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that? What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy. Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please. Follow me. The only thing you really need to understand right now is the Golden Rule. Let me see if I can explain it this way. When I was serving in the Legion, if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds. They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9. Didn't matter whether he'd done anything wrong. One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective. We call it decimation. If that seems like rough justice to you, you're in for a rude shock. Because the Golden Rule is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. He's up these stairs.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name? A curious name, to match a curious accent. But I digress. Something about your demeanor gives me the urge to caution you against doing anything, shall we say, unlawful while you're here. Is that understood? Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city built deep in the mountains, many hundreds of years ago. Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little paradise. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft, nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city without sin? Nor could I until I came here. But the reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we can gather, breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to gold. We've come to call it the Golden Rule. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have, and each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the Golden Rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like you have questions. Please, ask away. An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes, or to some other ill-defined wrong? Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft, no assault, and certainly no murder. But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass, trying to escape, bribery, infidelity, suicide? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries. I'm glad you agree. The key things to remember are that we have laws forbidding treason and blasphemy, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson and so on. I have made my pronouncement on the subject. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows. I would be keeping a close eye on them if I were you. Ah, good. So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the Golden Rule? Wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city, talk to everyone, help them if it'll win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately. Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum. I heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
Ove.
Give me a moment. Sorry I'm such a mess. I just lost a patient and a dear friend. She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with and I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right at... Then that toad shrugs and says, supply and demand. I guess you don't value your... Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here with the Golden Rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the Golden Rule, or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath. Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the Golden Rule will stop me from marching up to that Genetricum Fututo and scratching his eyes out. Well, come back if you get sick or injured. Day or night, I'll do what I can.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside. Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Dacius. Terrible shame what happened to Yulia, but we just have to carry on, don't we? Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii. That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job, work hard and save your coins, you should be able to afford it within, say, 5 years? Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it. Hear what? You sure you're feeling all right? If you're hearing things, perhaps you should pay a visit to Lucretia's clinic. We don't want another Navia on our hands. She claimed the statue was whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it. Then she shut herself in the palace and we never heard from her again. But I digress. Do you want this silphium or not? Very well. Perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget? Very well. Another time.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
One of you idiots did this! Vesta, protect these people, please.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you... Oh, Bacchus, how much... Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made. Worked real hard on it. Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking. And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake. I haven't quite summoned. But don't worry, it's... All right.
What are you doing in here? Can't you see this woman is dying? She needs the resin of a What? Quick, Yulia. Yulia, you need to swallow this. Hopefully in a moment she should be able to breathe normally. That was extraordinary. How did you know she needed this exact... Look. If you don't want to tell me, I won't look. That was like the gods. You just saved a person's life, and you should be proud of yourself. She might even be able to thank you, and maybe she can tell us who poisoned her, and who she meant when she was muttering about that snake's crew. In the meantime, I'm happy to help you with what... A city without sin might sound good on paper, but whoever dreamt it up didn't think it through. But snakes like Decius will all absolutely nothing. In some ways, we are worse off because... That's a shame. Thanks again for saving Yulia.
Oh, it's you. Sorry, I'm still a bit out of... Was there something you wanted? As much as I'm grateful that you tried to help me, it's just not safe for me to talk. The Golden Rule. That's the least of my worries. The gods may... Please, just leave me alone. Persistent as Nemesis, aren't you? Look, if you don't have time to listen to me, don't... All right. I'd been here about a week. When it dawned on me I'd be trapped here for the rest. So when my new friend Aurelia offered me a secret way out, she was supposed to be my friend. I told her it would take me years to... So she suggested I take out a loan. I had to sign an agreement, saying I'd work off the debt over 30 years. But I figured I'd be out of here so soon. I paid Aurelia, and she gave me her so-called way out. Hemlock. It's a deadly poison. Drink this, she said, and you'll be out of here in no time. Of course, I demanded. She pointed to a sign on her tavern saying, "Let the buyer beware." Then she just looked at me with those cruel black eyes, and she immediately told Malleolus I'd tried to escape without paying him back. Only, he didn't seem upset. In fact, he just thanked her. And that's when I realized the two of them had planned the whole... That's what I said to the magistrate. I went to Sentius and begged for help, but he said the law was clear. I'd signed over my labor for 30 years and there was nothing he could do. He locked me in his villa. Confiscated everything His wife, Claudia, was just as bad. She set me to work on an endless stream of I'd be on my hands and knees, scrubbing the floor clean for hours. Only for her to pull. Those two took everything from me. My hemlock. I just wanted it to be over. But it seems I messed that up. I brought it on myself. I trusted one of the most callous human beings I've ever met. When I've recovered, I expect their thug Domitius will come for me. He'll escort me back to their villa. And only this time, I won't be able to lull myself to sleep at night with the thought of a permanent solution. Honestly, it would have been better if the poison had been I doubt it. It seems this, at least until someone breaks the golden rule. A lot. But it doesn't matter. He's in exactly the same position as I am. Malleolus and Aurelius set the same trap for him a month. He's probably already thrown himself from the bluff into If so, I'd never be able to live with myself, knowing I broke my promise to him. I doubt you could make it up to the bluff in time. I don't know who you are, or why you seem so determined to...
May Apollo keep you safe.